inspiration am I sitting at? I have one.
Do you want more?
I was seeing if anybody had less. Well, okay. I was seeing if
Tyler will
Tyler had
always have
less
less. Hey.
because I know Adam probably has more.
Right. I'll tell you what,
Tyler repeatedly plays Russian roulette every session.
not not true in New Dawn anymore.
That was so fucking just brutal. Oh
Yeah.
my
You
god.
it's granted you have a huge stock of those because of what you do, but like you hand those out like candy and it's very generous of you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
still wild to hear my last inspiration come from Adam.
Yeah. Anyone care to take a guess at how many we went through or how many of mine we went through last night?
15.
15?
No, not that bad.
What?
Right?
Oh,
Close.
okay.
I mean 9.
That's
Oof.
bad.
Right. And that
I'm
was
still planning on writing a journal so you can take one that I burnt from
right.
you.
Oh,
But
that's fine. I mean look, that's why I have them. Right? That and if there's anything like really fucking stupid and pointless that Cal wants to do that I want to make sure he accomplishes. That's the other reason I have 'em.
All right. Once again, refocusing. Who wants to recap last session of Curse of Strahd for inspiration?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm shooting from the hip here, so.
Oh no. The
It's
whole
been 2
point
weeks.
the whole point is that we're supposed to remember what happened.
Yeah, and this is an exercise in memory. Um, I'm working my brain. We arrived in Kresk. We were uh, introduced to the Baron, who we informed of kind of why we're here, and we were given a home to rest in. We learned a little bit about the Baron, just that like their son had died, I think, recently.
Mhm.
Uh, Kreskovich.
Oh,
I think I'm right about that.
his first name. He's been going by his first name.
First name's Baron.
Also, his last name is Kreskov.
Yeah, that's what I said. Kreskov.
You know what? I'm
It,
on Team
no.
Tyler here. That's as accurate as any other name has been during recap. Ariana that we've been traveling with forever.
I know that his title is Burgermeister, but we have been referring to the Burgermeister and the Baron as interchangeable words through
Oh
this
no,
whole
no,
game.
that was exclusively in Valaki.
Okay. I have talked to you about this guy and called him the Baron and the Baroness, and you've never corrected me.
I know it felt rude.
I believe it's Dmitry and Anna Kreskov.
That is correct.
Yeah, and their son is dead. And we rested. It took some time to go near the town, go around the town. Tried to buy some stuff, but they didn't really have a whole lot of like big ticket items or enough gold to buy much of the treasure that we hauled in from the temple. We visited a consecrated pool of holy water where we filled some vials that were given to us, and discovered that there was a consecrated item of some kind buried beneath the gazebo there,
Mhm.
but we did not dig it up yet. We went back to the Burgermeister's house and spoke to Anna and mentioned that there was the thing buried, and hey, I don't know, talk to your husband, maybe we can dig it up and see what it is, if that's cool. But we're gonna go to the Abbey. We went to the Abbey, and it was populated largely by some fucked up little guys, and they were a little suspicious, but they took us to the abbot, who's a gleaming, handsome guy who was a little bit weird and is probably an angel of some kind. And we also saw that he has a like Frankenbride flesh golem that he is trying to teach manners so that he can make the count happy, and that will stop all the bad things that happen. We were like, okay, that's neat. We're gonna go talk to this person, and we went upstairs and met Esmeralda, and got her backstory and heard about kind of what her budding plans are. Something about what was it, like stakes to like hold Strahd in place while we kill him or something? I'm blanking a little bit on the plan part. But we talked to her for a while. If anyone wants to fill in the plan, please.
I don't believe it was as specific as stakes, but she has some way to trap Strahd and needs bait.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She was working with runic circles on the ground.
Okay.
I'm not sure if those are the thing to trap Strahd, but I sort of assumed so.
Yeah. Talking to her, we gained her allyship and then went to just kind of poke our head around a little bit and found another room where there was another one of the what's the name of this family of guys?
The Bellevue family.
The Bellevue, yeah, another Bellevue that was playing music, and we chatted with him a little bit. We also found that there was like a body on a table in this room that might have been where the abbot was trying to craft another thing. Oh yeah, barefoot and barefoot.
Cloven's my buddy. I gave him my wine.
Yeah, and then we are leaving Cloven's room, and potentially exploring this place a little bit more, but also maybe going back to the Burgomaster to hopefully get his input on what should be done.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are currently within the bell tower of the Abbey of St. Markovia. Having just finished your conversation with Cloven, Ariam having offered some wine to him. It is up to you now where you go.
It is criminal writing that you have an individual named Cloven with animal feet, and you have not given him a cloven hoof.
His neck is cloven.
I stand by my statement.
I'm not saying there's anything to it, but Cloven Bellevue has kind of the same feel and syllables as Quasimodo. He's in a bell tower. Also, there's an NPC here named Esmeralda.
I don't know. According to that picture, he's got two heads, right? I don't know what's going on with that other body, right? It seems like a real Master Blaster situation.
Yeah, where do you go next?
Well, fellas, do you think there's any need for us to poke our nose around in here any much more, or should we just get on back to the bar? I guess he's not the Baron here, Burgomaster.
I imagine we're taking Esmeralda with us if we leave, correct? Well, offering to take her with us, I mean. Or is Esmeralda waiting until we have finished our other tasks for Madame Ava to join us. I must admit the situation here is particularly odd. That is undeniable, but these people have spent a considerable amount of time here. I don't imagine they are a threat to Kresk.
Well, I mean, the abbot himself said that they kind of were. That's why he keeps them locked up here and chained up.
I just meant like Colin here, or
Mhm.
Cloven, not Colin. We just went over this dude's name. Jesus.
Oh, he's
Cloven
definitely
here, and
Colin now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not everybody's a
Otto,
threat,
and
but honestly, I think the abbot's the largest threat. Um,
I am admittedly a little torn on the abbot. He
Well,
seeks to redeem Strahd, which, I mean, we know is not possible, but he does not have the benefit of the vision that we experienced at the Amber Temple.
mhm.
It could be that he would be reasonable given that information. Uh, Certainly, the experiments here are beyond ghastly. But then, as Cloven has informed us, it seems the Belleviews are willing participants. At least those who are still capable of.
At least they were.
Yeah. Well, I meant those undergoing, those who were capable of giving such consent. I don't.
well,
We have not seen this process, so
am I remembering correctly that Esmeralda thought that this might be the best location for her to trap Strahd?
I do believe
she
that's what
said
she.
she said that she intended to use the abbot's bride
Mm,
as
bait.
bait,
But
and
yes,
it
I
was far from Ravenloft.
mean, I do remember that she planned on using that creation that the abbot was training. But I mean, was there anything else that made this place special, or that Esmeralda thought made this place special, or was it just because this is where those readily available bait?
I think
Could
that
go
and
back and ask.
the distance from his lair, uh, it would make it much more difficult for Strahd to return to his resting place. Um,
And
and then,
the reason I ask is because if there is something special about this place, do we want to take Esmeralda with us, or do we want to marshal our forces and gather whatever allies we can and convene here?
form ourselves a little castle anti-Ravenloft. What's the opposite of a raven? Castle.
A writing desk?
Ted, you can take
Castle,
inspiration.
I like it. Castle, writing desk, basement. But it also begs the question, if we are to make this the location of our stand against Zarovich, what then to do about the abbot and the Bellevue?
I think it's worth having a conversation with the abbot. If the truth of his desire to return Strahd to nobility is revealed to him, it's perhaps possible that he will be useful to us in our endeavors.
Hmm.
It will, I suppose, depend on whether he is seeking to restore Strahd out of loyalty to Strahd or in deference to the people of Barovia, but given the reputation of St. Markovia's Abbey and its founders, I'm inclined to believe that, or I'm inclined to hope, rather, that he would be more concerned with the people of Barovia and Barovia itself than service and servitude to Strahd.
Yes, it just seems like, I mean, his intention isn't to defeat Strahd, but to satiate him. Uh, I just, it really feels like the guy's got some screws loose, and that's a dangerous thing to have that much power. But it's not enough to damn someone, just that they've got some bad ideas. I just fear for, the safety of the town, but the town's been safe as long as it has. I don't, it's a lot.
Well, I mean, with regard to safety of Kresk, I suppose we share what we now know of the Abbey and the Abbot with the Burgermeister
Hmm.
and let them decide how much of a threat they find this unusual situation. And to your point, Ariam, I I presume we could talk with Abbott again. I'm not sure what additional information we would learn. Uh, do you think it's worth sharing the vision that we've had with him?
I do, if nothing else, so that he doesn't go through with his plan to wed poor Vasilka to Strahd. Um, I doubt Vasilka, given her state, given her disposition when we saw her, has any say um, in what the abbot has proposed. It I don't know.
Well,
It seems he has no small amount of power, being able to transform these people as he has. It just seems that if the truth were made clear to him, perhaps that power could be put to our use. Perhaps there is something he can do for us.
well, then
Picking up
let's go have
those
that
muscles,
conversation and
air quotes.
yeah, let's go have that conversation and see where it leads us.
Which path do you take to get back downstairs?
Um,
I will peek my head back in the door. Cloven, if we needed to speak to the abbot, what's the best way to go about this?
His bowing hand stops for a moment, and he arcs his arm out, pointing the bow towards the balcony and stairwell leading down that is in this room.
all right, let's do that then.
All right.
Have we actually looked at what's under this sheet?
Yeah, it's a body, parts of bodies. more flesh golem parts, or like a failed attempt, I think.
Okay. You can walk down the stairs, accompanied by the sound of Cloven's uh, playing, and see once again the abbot seated at the table with Vasilka. Um, uh, every once in a while, the mouth of Vasilka opens and some form of sound, um, completely nonverbal, sort of rolls through her throat. And he just quietly uh, chides her, her mouth closes, and she is silent again. He looks at you. He looks up when footsteps come down the stairs, and and looks at you all with a sort of a silent question of, "Was everything to your satisfaction?"
Sorry, I'm just seeing his token. That is quite the hat.
Yeah, the token's dog shit.
Uh,
It is quite the operation you've got going on here. I'm I'm curious. Does the Burgomaster know how many inhabitants of here?
Certainly not. As far as they know, there may be beasts within the abbey, and myself. How is the Burgermeister? It's been some time since I have seen him.
Well, perhaps you should pay him a visit sometime. I'm sure he would like information about what's going on up here, just as you are curious about what's going on down there.
I think that's an excellent idea. Should be something we should make some time for, perhaps within the next day. And he hands Vasilka a napkin.
Will your I'm sorry, I don't know. Are they your friends, your creations, your children?
The Bellevue?
Yes.
They are.
Your flock?
Some time ago, a person came to the Abbey and let me know of the pain and suffering came from some of the ostracized people that had followed the Vistani into Barovia. I offered them shelter. They began to speak to me of their desires, their imperfections as they saw them, and made no small no small voice in their outward desires to be healed. I am quite the capable healer, but the natural return of their human forms was not something that they were truly in desire of. As I came to know, they specifically saw strength within the creatures of this land and others, animals that I knew of that many in Barovia did not have the knowledge to even communicate to me. I saw within them some form of intelligence, and seeing as I had the ability to ease their pains, I offered to alter their forms as they requested.
And and now I'm curious, do you consider them your friends? Your wards?
Wards, perhaps, is the best word.
Hmm.
I feed them, house them, protect them from the world and the world from them.
Well, will will they be safe up here if you go down to visit the Burgermeister?
They have been trained to understand how deeply unwise it would be to challenge me.
Hmm. Now, are they trained in that before or after they undergo this transformation?
It is a promise made. I fulfill their requests. They do not err from mine.
And I suppose that goes for Vasilga here as well?
Vasilka is different. Vasilka holds no thoughts nor wants.
Vasilga was not a Bellevue prior to her transformation?
That is correct.
Is it true that you intend to offer her to the lord of this land?
He nods.
It is your hope that this will change him somehow? Or is this merely to placate his attentions for a time?
In the past, the brides that have been taken to Ravenloft have all been wily, unfeeling, violent, and evil kind. Perhaps something, a creature of peace and perfect control might be what tempers his violence.
So you don't hope to restore him, you hope to simply distract him with this individual.
I have no delusions that this creature has any ability to be returned to humanity. And were it in my power to destroy him, I would. I was sent here to cure this land, and I have yet nothing to show for it.
In that it would seem that we all, and he will gesture at Zeldrin and Zazarak, we all have something in common. We have been not coerced, but perhaps tricked into coming here under the impression that we would have some way of restoring Barovia, and it was the hope of our kidnapper is perhaps a little strong, but the one who brought us here, it was their hope that we would perhaps be able to restore Strahd to his previous state of nobility. But it is clear to us now through both experience and magical divination that there is no way of doing that. That the only way to um, restore the land of Barovia is for Count Stradvan Zarevich to die. If that is your mission as well, to restore Barovia to more peaceful and prosperous times, then perhaps we can all be of some assistance to each other, perhaps even allies.
I believe this could be true.
We do have a few other tasks, I suppose. A few other things to rally assistance that we believe we might be able to find. But it will take some time before we are able to return here. Uh, I- we
If you
understand.
are to leave the Abbey, return to Kresk, I would be in debt to the people of that city. They were to aid me as well.
What is it you would have the people of Kresk do for you?
I have sent a letter to Ravenloft requesting that Lord Stradvan Zarevich come to the Abbey to appraise what I have created for him. To make her as presentable as possible, I wish to find within Barovia the finest raiment that the people here may supply. If one can be found, a wedding gown would be my preference. In return, the healing power that I can provide, great power that I have, may be a gift to one within Kresk.
I'm not sure if you understood us correctly. The only hope there is to aid and cleanse this land is to defeat Strahd, not to present him with another bride.
That may be true, but it does not stall the fact that the letter has been sent and may yet have already been received.
As if this poor creature could mollify Strahd for a time, perhaps it will give Arena a reprieve from the Count's attentions. So I am loath to trade one for another. Does she really look stitched together like the token suggests? Am I looking at like a flesh column instead of a person?
Why don't you can make me an investigation check. Or medicine if you so choose.
I don't suppose I can bust out the magnifying glass and walk over to her. I am not doing that. I am not going to actually do that. 15.
Even from here, you have a hard time telling that this is not one whole person. But with a 15 can see that there are like specifically suture scars. You do not even see seams, just these fine lines that mostly cross around her exposed neck and around her hands and wrists and around her joints. Not so stitched together, not as disturbing perhaps as the token. She's in all, a fairly immaculate creature. It is mostly her stilted behaviors and the infantile understanding of the word that is the greater tell.
Uh, how long, how far away, rather, is the expected meeting? How much time did your letter provide for? Or is it simply whenever the Count should decide to come?
I would anticipate perhaps 3 days before his arrival. I intended, as Esmeralda had request, to let her know the day of his arrival.
Perhaps, gentlemen, if we could confer over here for a time.
Well, I mean,
Sidebar.
yeah. Well, do we have any other business, or should we just head down to town at this point and we can confer on the way? As I'm walking over towards the sidebar.
It's like, can I ask the abbot about incense? This is a freaking abbey. There's got to be incense I can use to get
If you want to if you want to ask, you could.
after the sidebar.
Where's the
Yeah.
sidebar taking place?
Uh, let's go back up the stairs and outside of Cloven's room.
uh, okay, you guys can go back up onto the parapets. I won't. Well,
Okay.
actually, you guys are already there on that map. I can just. Whoop.
Uh, is it just me, or is this like very bad news?
So much for
mean-
feeling comfortable leaving Arena, yeah?
Oh, I assumed once we saw all the cobbled together animal creatures that idea went right out the window to begin with.
Well, yes, but I mean, not just specifically the Abbey, but the town of Crest. If we are going to, make use of, this plan that Esmeralda has developed and do so 3 days from now, that
I thought Esmeralda had wanted to put a weight on her plan once she had heard of our efforts. Was I especially getting the assistance of Argynvost seemed to um,
Oh no,
forestall any desire to immediately attend
Mhm.
to Strahd
But-
himself.
I don't know if she knew that Strahd was going to be here in 3 days.
right. Max, just a clarification. The
Mhm.
the abbot did mention that he had agreed to let Esmeralda know when Strahd was here. But does that mean, or did I not hear that correctly?
I might have phrased it a little poorly. The intention being, uh, like the day he should be arriving, he would come to let her know.
Okay, but
But the very
that
short
doesn't
amount of time.
necessarily right. That doesn't necessarily mean
Yes.
that she knows that this letter's been sent and that he might be on his way shortly.
That is correct. Yes.
Got it. Got it. Well, yeah, it seems to me like we have two pressing issues. The first is Esmeralda may not be aware that Strahd's arrival is imminent. And secondly, and at least I feel more importantly, um, I don't believe for a second that Strahd will arrive here and have any interest in Vasilia or anything else if Irina is just down the hill.
I
Agreed.
agree with that. I also agree I don't think Strahd's gonna have any interest in this thing at all.
I agree with you as well.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I find that highly unlikely, but
Unfortunately, he will be coming. Well, assuming he agrees to whatever terms are put forth in the letter, he will be here regardless of the amount of interest he might have. So, essentially, he is. We should assume. I feel he is coming.
Hmm. I think it is important that we share this information with the Burgomaster and his family and Irina, and maybe bring them in on the discussion of what should be done next.
I'm, as odd as it sounds, still inclined to assist the abbot with his small request for a garment, only because whatever can be done to stay Strahd's hand against poor Vasilka, she has done nothing to deserve any of this. She is, perhaps more than any creature in this place, completely innocent. But we cannot whisk her from this place. I don't even know that she would understand why we would be doing that. We cannot. Um,
Or
I,
could
I,
survive such.
mm. So it is.
well, as long as we're up here, should we go inform Esmeralda?
Yes, yeah. I think you're both right. I think it's worth bringing her in as well as the Burgermeister on these discussions. And since one of those two is here, perhaps.
Yeah,
See
you
if I
guys could.
remember where she is.
uh,
I think she was over here. No.
Nope. I will say that instead of triggering the shit that would happen if you walked in there, because this only happened moments ago for Zazarak, it's down this way.
Okay.
You can knock on the door. You hear her
Yeah,
call.
I think
Yeah.
under the circumstances, I'm doing one of those knocking on the door as I'm opening it and walking through it.
Okay.
Hi.
You,
Yeah, pardon us for barging in. We just received some news that requires some haste. We have been informed by the abbot that he has sent an invitation to Strahd von Zarovich to come here to the abbey. And according to the abbot, uh, he expects to see Zarovich here in approximately 3 days.
are you fucking kidding me?
I am not, unfortunately.
Okay. She hops down from the bed and goes over to the circles and just sits down on the ground and begins to draw with chalk.
Now, what exactly is your plan? Do you plan to get him in this very spot?
Practice, and then hopefully I can have something set up downstairs where I would assume the presentation is going to take place.
We are hoping we can convince you to install your plan for a time. As we said before, we do have other allies to seek in this fight against Strahd, that would perhaps give us a better chance when this final conflict comes. I know you said your mentor trained you very well. D- I I did want to ask. You've never actually gave his or her that you never gave their name. your mentor.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm fairly certain. I mean, werewolves. Um, but his name was Rudolf Van Richten.
Ah, well, you will be pleased to know that your master is alive.
The chalk in her hand snaps between her fingers.
Or not.
You know him?
Zazarek, Zeldrin, that was the gentleman with the tiger, correct?
In Valaki, yeah.
He's here.
Unless
I
by some
thought you would be
coincidence there's a
pleased.
person with the exact same name.
That son of a bitch. Her other hand kind of very quickly unhitches a bronze hatchet from her belt, which she just hurls into the wall in frustration and a bit of a shout. He's cursed, you know.
I did he inform us? I feel like he did.
I
Yeah,
mean, he certainly seemed odd.
Uh, there was the thing, his son, right?
his son, his wife,
Yeah.
my leg, everyone that he ever allies with befalls something awful. I thought
That seems to be part and parcel of fighting horrible things.
yeah. But Vistani know about curses, and they'll place curses. We know tricks, um, real magic locks that stay on someone on our own blood. She puts two fingers over her heart and does a cross. Something that we're it's a survival skill primarily, but when crossed, we can offer some of our own strength to prevent anyone from causing us further harm. Whoever kidnapped his son marked him. Then, when his son was killed, it sealed the curse, and now any person he lingers with for, I don't know, a few days at best, something terrible happens. Not just superstition, real magic. He didn't come back for me.
Perhaps he stayed away to spare you further harm.
I was a kid. So Strad von Zarovich is going to be coming to the Abbey.
Yeah,
And you don't want to interfere?
It is just simply that, from the interactions we've had with what's his guy? Chicken shit keeps running away.
Rahadin,
Rodden.
that way. I point.
We've we've hardly managed to get away unscathed from of some of those interactions, and I worry that we are not prepared yet to uh, stand against Strahd that directly.
You didn't have a magic circle before, did you?
No, I suppose we did not.
Might help.
We have certainly possible, but we have been given several um, avenues, so to speak, to seek aid, and you were one, and your circles could certainly be a part of that. But there is likely several more things that we should uh, see to before we try to bring a final confrontation with Strahd. Uh, the people of Argynvostholt have uh, we have met Sir Horngard, and we know where to find it now. Um, there is a pool. This Zazrak, this sunlit pool.
The pool of the White Sun.
Yes. Does that
Pool and
mean
Kresk?
anything to you?
Yeah, I mean, I believe we found it.
Ah, yes. Oh, well, that must be where the. Okay.
Arium putting that together.
Ted putting that together in real time. But there is still to find a a symbol in a dragon's house, whatever that means. Um,
And so we are still in search of these things, and we are going to continue our search until those items are found. And that is when
yes.
we will take our stand. We believe that your magics would be a great boon to our efforts. And since we are not prepared and will not be prepared to act in the next 3 days, um, we ask that you consider waiting and joining with our endeavor so that we have as many assets as possible that we can use against Tsar.
Her head turns towards the windows that look outside over the city of Kresk. And after a look, she says, "And what about them?" When he arrives,
You believe he will arrive and slaughter everything inside.
she nods.
Well, I believe that is a conversation that we will have to have with the abbot, but without a satisfactory answer from him, I feel like I must stand up for the people that are here and ensure that they do not meet that fate, whether we're fully prepared or not. I am hopeful that the abbot's invitation will not be sullied in such a fashion, and that whatever exists of hospitality, remains of hospitality in this realm, will be honored by Zarovich. But you do make an excellent point. There's really little beyond hope to indicate that that may happen. Well, I think for the time being,
This is perhaps a conversation that would be useful to continue with the Burgermeister of Kresk,
mm,
if you are comfortable joining us within Kresk.
As long as they don't throw me out for sneaking in.
Well, I think if you return there in our company, you should be assured that that will not be the case.
All right. She begins throwing unlit candles and chalk into a little wooden box next to the sigils on the ground.
you don't have any extra incense up here, do you?
Uh, Let me see. She closes that wooden box and goes to her bag, begins packing things and unpacking some things, and holds out a bound cloth satchel with tied with twine.
Oh, wonderful. May I may I compensate you for this?
That would be preferred.
Very well.
Say this is about 10 gold worth.
You should have enough there.
Um, yeah, I will give her 10 gold.
I could cover it. If I'm to use it to return McCormick, I should be the one to pay for it.
Oh, well, yeah, oh no, certainly. I just sort of figured with the cart we have down in town, that whose pocket it comes out of right now isn't really that important.
That's fair.
But please, by all means. Oh, this is embarrassing, Ariam. I have to scrape together money. Oh dear.
I can plunk out 10 gold coins.
Great.
Or rather, I take 2 coins out of the purse and just give her the purse. Other than the wealth on the cart, I'm apparently fucking broke.
She takes it, and you can kind of see the guilt flick over her expression momentarily before she stows it anyway.
Excellent, excellent. We should return to the abbot and perhaps to Kresk before I make use of this. But thank you. You have no idea what you've done for me.
No problem. She hitches up her backpack, retrieves her hatchet from the wall and secures it to her hip. Rapier on one side and hatchet on the other.
Um, Zeldrin, I wonder if it would seem that we have accomplished most of the things, or investigated most of the things that Madame Ava has put forth in her premonitions, and it seems as though those that we have accomplished so far are certainly to be useful. The trip to Argynvostolt, we have an idea of where it is along the Lunar River, outside of Villaki. I wonder, given that we have only perhaps 3 days before Strahd arrives here in the Abbey, would it be how often is that ability of yours? Perhaps we could make the trip to Argynvostolt and still be back in time. Um,
It would be a
to
matter of the time to get there. The trip back should be, as long as we pay the toll, should be quick enough. I can make use of, that particular prayer as many times as we can pay for.
excellent, excellent. Since that does not seem as though it will necessarily be an issue, given the cart. Well then, shall we return to the abbot and let him know what we are thinking?
Yes, I believe we shall.
What are we thinking? Are we gonna go try to find a dress right now? I mean,
I think we can do that while we go speak to the Burgermeister, which I think is the is the immediate plan.
mhm.
Um, I think we can all agree that the Burgermeister deserves to know that the Count may be making an appearance in a few days.
Mhm.
I mean, there's dress, there's whatever you were talking about under that pool in town, brother. Uh, and then there's whether or not we can get to Argenvolts and back. But step one is saying our goodbyes to the abbot and getting back down to the burgomaster.
To the abbot, then.
Back downstairs. Return from your sidebar.
Well, we thank you for your hospitality and the brief tour that you have given us. We will do our best to secure some fine clothing and a wedding dress, if at all possible, for before Strahd's imminent visit. Uh, I am curious, are you not concerned about Bellevue's safety once Strahd gets here?
I have concern for them, but often they quite capable of hiding themselves, staying out of the path of danger.
And you have no concern for your own safety?
Though I cannot kill Master Zarovich, he has yet to kill me.
Has he tried?
Do not think the thought has occurred to him.
But if there's nothing else, Zele, Ariam,
I don't believe so.
yes, I do believe we'll be on our way. Thank you, Con.
He nods, and Vasilka stands to curtsy to you as you turn to leave.
It's creepy as fuck. All right.
When you head into the courtyard, do you head right for the gate?
Yeah, I mean, if I remember correctly, like we hear like animal noises coming from behind a bunch of these doors. Is that correct?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think
We all just
unless
kind of.
I'm sorry, Ted.
I was gonna say we all just kind of look at each other, look at the doors, look at each other, look at the doors. Sigh.
Right,
Oh God.
right, nailed it. Yeah, I think after that, exactly as Ted described it, Zazarak will just sort of sheepishly head to the gate unless um unless Ariam or Zeldrin have another plan, but at this point, Zazarak is sort of resigned to this nightmare is happening.
Hmm.
What do you think the abbot means about his magics being useful to someone in the town? It sounds as though he has someone in mind.
I mean,
Oh, but well, perhaps that had not crossed my mind. I just thought he was limiting the number of people that he could give the power to. But perhaps you're right. Perhaps he was saying there is an individual that I can give this to.
I think your way makes much more sense.
Hmm.
After all, I imagine many people in the town could use the assistance of powerful healing.
Yes. Then again,
Mm.
I don't. I don't suppose I understand anything that abbot is thinking.
Yes, perhaps they would not want his particular brand of, and I will make sewing motions, healing.
hmm.
Perhaps something to puzzle over another time after we have dealt with the main issue of this place.
Yes, let's return to the Burgmaster.
The five of
Yeah, I
you
mean,
begin. Oh,
retrieving a dress and being rewarded for such are truly the bottom of my list right now.
the five of you leave the abbey proper, enter into the gardens where uh, Otto Bellevue watches you come down the garden path, pushes the gates open for you, and watches you head down the cliffside on the switchbacks towards Kresk.
Otto, it was a pleasure to meet you.
He sniffs hard in your direction, like jerks his chin up in his own pride, but it says nothing else.
Is is there anything we could bring you from town? Anything
His
you
eyes,
want for here?
his expression turns from one of like pride and disengagement to salivating hunger. Chicken.
I will see what I can do.
Esmeralda kind of shudders as you guys pass and
Note.
head down the mountain.
Otto, Bellevue, Imogen A. Chicken. Save.
Ted, I just recently watched the episode of The Expanse where there's that dude who all he wants is chicken. He'll help you out with any video feed you need to see or whatever, but he just wants chicken.
Spooky.
We have been rewatching, well, rewatching for me, Babylon 5, and there's a whole episode about getting like quality food to a space station, and it's very good.
Cool.
I know we're a little bit early, but I feel like this is a good spot for a 15-minute break.
Cool.
Cool. let's get back into it. Tyler got up. Tyler, we good?
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit in here with my owls for a bit
Okay.
and try
All
to
right.
calm down.
Okay. All right. Okay. You guys walk down the mountain, down into Kresk, and it sounded like you were looking to go to the to Dmitry Kreskov's
Mhm.
cabin. Okay. Yeah, yeah, you certainly know where it is. It's right near the southern gate of the city, um, and when you approach, like, whoa, um, Casimir. Wow, his name just flew out of my head. Uh, uh, in answers the door and brings you all inside. Both of the Kreskovs are here, uh, and can take whatever questions or take audience with you, I guess.
It's not so much questions as we feel it is important to inform you that in a few days it is likely that Strahd will be coming here, not here to Kresk specifically, but to the Abbey. And, to get to St. Markovia's, we'll have to pass through your city, and that does seem like something that you would want to be made aware of. And I basically will run down what the abbot told us was the plan, and I use that term with both heavy air quotes and in the absolute loosest sense possible of being a plan. Yes, the fool thought that perhaps he could entice Strahd to kindliness with a
Constructed being of some sort.
I was going to say childish bride, not child bride, but childish bride, which is honestly just as terrible. But
Do you tell
yes,
them?
constructed being.
Do you tell them about the Bellevues as well, or
Uh,
just about the plan?
just about the plan.
Okay. Well, that's truth of the matter is if Strahd von Zarovich is intended to come through Kresk, I don't think anything but law forbiddance will prevent him from doing so. As much faith as I have in folks we have here, strength of our men, if he were to pass on the road to the Abbey, I don't think there's anything we could do to stop him.
Uh, yes, this was more to entice your people to avoid him and be aware of his presence rather than to put up any sort of resistance to him.
Yeah, I think we would find ourselves lucky to, if hiding were to do anything for us. It is our only option.
If it is quite a long shot and likely something we do not have the means to do, but you mention forbiddance, it would be possible for me to forbid Strahd and creatures like him from entering this city. It would be very costly. And it's not impossible that Strahd may be able to remove the spell after it is cast. Uh, it would require knowing more precisely when he would be here and access to powdered ruby, 1,000 gold worth of powdered ruby. But I would be able to protect 40,000 square feet no creature would be able to teleport into the area, and undead would be damaged severely during the time they spend within the area. Strahd could walk through it, but not without being severely in pain the entire time.
That sounds like a generous offering, but rubies we have none, and 1,000 gold worth. That I don't even know that there's 1,000 gold circulating the city.
None of the treasure we recovered was specifically ruby, was it?
We can look at the loot. We have 30 unknown 50 gold piece gems, but even if they are all rubies, which I doubt, I do not believe that is anywhere close to enough, right?
Well, we need 20. I would need 20 rubies that were worth 50 gold. So if 20 of them are
I can
rubies, we'd have
math.
it, but that's it.
That seems unlikely.
Yeah.
Esmeralda says, if that's the sort of thing you're looking for, I don't have that, but Rudolph used to have. I have a wagon parked at a tower he used to train me at, and he kept quite a bit of costly components, valuable gems that he found outside of Barovia. We would have to get in, and it's booby trapped all to hell. But and I can't dismantle any of it. We'd have to be lucky.
Well, perhaps we could speak again with Van Richten and see if he'd be willing to help us.
We need to go near Vallaki anyway to find our way to Argynvost.
If we
Well,
were to even just go to Vallaki and back here, that is a whole day gone.
Well, I have means to travel a bit quicker. It's costly, but if it is necessary, we can use it.
and now that y'all mention Balaki, I do recall seeing a wedding dress while we were there.
Really?
Oh yes, in his house, and I'll point to Victor.
He looks confused and then, oh, in my mother's dressing room.
All right, now don't look at me like that. We were trying to just get a lay of the land and figure out. Well, look, I saw the wedding dress. What do you want from me?
I, it may be possible to. So Zeldrin is like flipping through a book, one of his tomes. I may have another possible means of safety and protection. It would not stop Strahd from entering your town, but it may be possible for me to create a respite, a temple, uh, a temple generated from nothing, wherein the people of the city could find refuge, wherein Strahd would be unallowed to enter, and this temple could not be destroyed. by any means except for disintegration. I do not know if that's a power he possesses, but it would not be able to be dispelled. The
Which
population
spell?
of this town, do you think it could all fit into a 120 foot by 120 foot cube? The spell that I'm looking at is Temple of the Gods.
That's
It's
what it's
in
called.
Xanathar's.
Yeah. I remember this spell.
Yeah.
I just wanted to. I couldn't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
It's the cleric version of Magnificent
Right.
Mansion.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit less like it is specifically a temple. But yeah, I could forbid undead from well, if a creature of the chosen type attempts to enter the temple, that creature must make a charisma saving throw. On a failed save, it cannot enter the temple for 24 hours. Even if the creature does enter the temple, the magic there hinders it, giving it a negative D4, basically a bane on anything they try to do while they're in the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And also, while inside the temple, any creature that regains hit points from a spell regains additional hit points.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And it is material specifically.
It is what?
It has mass.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not extra dimensional.
Yeah. The temple is made from opaque magical force. I would need a 120 by 120 foot, like square foot, open space to create it in.
To make it to that size, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we could reasonably fit that many. That is a lot of people getting pretty cozy. And with the lumber industry we have here, there's a good chance that there won't be room for it except outside the walls. And well, that idea brings me hesitation too. If he were to pass through the city, there would be no one there to stop him from whatever havoc he may wish to rain upon the land itself.
I understand your hesitation to move your people outside the city, but if this spell can create an area which Strahd's minions would at the very least have trouble entering, it may be worth it. Still, that is not a call for me to make. But we have very limited time before Strahd's arrival, and it is somewhat our hope that perhaps we can resolve the last of our, shall we say, errands before we do so, uh, which gives us not much time, less than 3 days, to make several journeys, one of which uh, some of which we can accomplish by my good friend Zeldrin's efforts. Should we be able to um, meet with a Sahon guard, and should we be able to return in time with uh, the item requested by the abbot, and should we be ready to face Strahd von Zarovich on that at that time on that day? Um, how fair? How is the martial readiness of your people?
Well, Well, let me see if they have numbers here. Primarily, we run a militia. Most people here have basic understanding of self-defense. Most armaments are bow and arrow that we are able to afford for the wall watchers, and every grown person here knows how to use an axe.
It may be that we will need to call upon what guard you have. Z- Zazarak, knowing, or not Zazarak, Zeldrin rather, knowing now better what we expect is under the gazebo, perhaps now is time for you to approach that subject.
Yes, Burgomaster, did your wife mention we while we were by the pool, the blessed pool, we noticed that there was beneath the gazebo I could sense something of powerful consecration, something, holy and sacred buried beneath it. Um, I was curious if you knew what that might be, and if not, what your thoughts were on attempting to retrieve it in case it might be something that could aid us in our fight against the unholy.
She did tell me. I don't know what it could be, besides something that may have been left by the saint.
Hmm.
And I will say, barring the concern that it may disrupt the sacred water of her pool, my curiosity may be getting the better of me, and I think I'd like to know what it might be.
From what I could tell in my divining, the two consecrations were disconnected. They were not one sourcing from the other. The pool was consecrated, as was the object. But
In that case, the retrieval of it, I think, may be safe enough. However, there's no way that whole facility's very old. If we were to pull any parts of it up, I'd worry the whole thing may come down, and it would be the loss of our shrine, our one and only.
have we been able to retrieve Floof?
Adam's up, but Adam's AFK. But oh my god.
I don't remember if we have, like, we're still needing incense to bring Floof back. I think, I'm not sure.
Is that right?
I don't remember.
Let's find Greater Steed, right? I can look at his character sheet. What am I doing?
Maybe I'm thinking of Fine Steed doesn't have.
That's what I'm thinking of too. I think he uses find Greater Steed.
Mm.
Well, maybe not. Oh, hey Adam.
Hey,
Do you uh has can you
Find Greater
refresh us?
Steed has verbal and somatic only,
Okay.
which I should
Uh,
have realized.
and
Oh wait,
I
no,
don't
I'm using
I don't
verbal
have
Steed.
find greater steed. I just have find steed.
Yeah,
yeah.
same
Uh,
as
We were just discussing, brother, the possibility of retrieving the item buried beneath the gazebo,
Hmm.
and was wondering if it would be possible to call upon Floof for his underground
Oh well,
affinity.
Floof does love digging.
If he could maybe create a tunnel farther
Oh
away and dig under so that we do not have to tear apart the gazebo.
well, I mean, I'm sure that he could. The question, however, is how close is said item to the gazebo itself? For example, if it is a mere foot underneath the gazebo, then there's no real tunnel that Floof can dig that won't just collapse when he gets that close to the structure.
Yeah, I don't remember the answer to that question.
Well, I mean, is there and this is Adam having just been away. Are they concerned about the structure, or is it like
They this is their one and only shrine, and
uh,
there's some significance to that to them.
even heathen Adam recognizes that could be a problem? Um,
They don't seem to necessarily be they are not putting down a hard no, but they are just displaying their sentimentality about this.
all right, well, I mean, we
Well,
will certainly do the best we can, and I'm sure that if any damage is done, we will take the time to repair it. We just might not take that time immediately, for we may not have it.
mhm. If there comes a chance when we are free of threat and I can spend a longer stretch of time here with you folks, I could. Uh, the spell that I mentioned that I could summon a grand temple and all of the blessings that it provides. If I were to spend a month here with you, working to uh, provide upkeep for that temple, it would be able to become a permanent structure here.
The somewhat resignated like loss in their expression softens, and Dimitri says, well, that's hope fulfilled, and that's all we can ask for.
Furthermore, if you have a particular holy symbol, I can construct this temple to be sacred to whichever deity you would like me to. It does not have to be my deity specifically.
Well, if by your God's hands we see the safety of Kresk and the fall of Zarovich, I think all of us would be honored to pay homage, just as we have for the Morning Lord and for Saint Markovia.
I mean, whether or not the temple um, is erected, I think the item under the gazebo being referenced in Madame Ava's visions makes it worth at least a cursory attempt, an investigation into its precise location, so that in a few days, when the count of this world does arrive, we would have yet another weapon in our arsenal to defeat him.
Yes, I think if I could borrow a shovel, we can head over that way now.
Is do I have a shovel? I know I have some weird stuff because of the.
We've been digging in the yard recently. I've got a shovel around here somewhere.
Ouch. Well, because he's been digging in the yard because he buried his kid.
Yeah, that was a deliberate thing that I
Yeah,
said.
yeah. Uh, fellas, do you think we should um, speak with Irina, let her know what is going
Most
on.
definitely.
Check in with
Yeah,
her.
absolutely. She should absolutely be aware that the count is on his way, or will be.
Irina, Castamere, hello.
They're both around.
Mhm.
All
Well-
right. So,
Girl,
who's
you
up
gotta
for a
go.
road trip? You
would like,
don't
y'all
have
can-
to go home, but you definitely cannot stay here.
I can't really go on the Zvalek Road either. If that is the expectation for the Lord
Mhm.
Master to be traveling by,
Leaving here is walking towards him. Say, I mean, if
Okay,
we
I think there is one further solution we have not yet explored. How well do you breathe water?
I do not.
Oh, well, then that won't work at all. I was going to say you could go into the pool, but I forget sometimes that you humans.
wait a minute. Can I learn water breathing?
You're a cleric.
I
I-
don't know if that what that means.
I think you can. That'd be such a fucking.
But
water
once
breathing.
again, I will bring up the temple.
Mm.
Creatures within the temple are shielded from divination, so it would be possible, like if she were in the temple, for him to not know that she's here.
No water breathing for you.
Oh. I could ask for divine intervention. I
For
could
water
ask for
breathing?
divine intervention to try to forbiddance this town without the rubies.
You could.
Yeah, but I'm not going to right
Okay.
now because it only
Oh, okay.
lasts one day.
Okay.
I don't want it to work and then not be able to ask for it again 2 days from now.
Yeah, that would be.
I'm gonna, you know, I
You
want to
just
plan
put the
on making
favor
use of the
in, put
temple.
it on the wait list.
Dear God, could you
Putting in an
please
order.
forbid Strahd from entering this area whenever it is that he comes next? I don't know when that's gonna be.
Ooh, that's no good.
What do you mean that's no good? You're a god. You're telling me you don't know when he's coming? Pfft. Come on, Twilight Rider, get it together.
Okay. Are you guys headed over to the gazebo?
Yeah, gazebo time. Who wants to come with us?
I'm here for whatever is going on right now.
Uh,
I think everyone in this house is very interested to know what the fuck is going on.
Well, let's get to digging.
All right. You guys head over to the gazebo. Casimir and Irina are the first, have yet to see the pool. I think Esmeralda has not necessarily seen it either, but takes less of an interest in that. Irina seems very uh, distracted as you and Dimitri and Anna head to the gazebo itself. Um, Dimitri has brought with him some saws and hatchets as well as shovel. Um, and you all can, I'm assuming, the three of you, yes?
mm-hmm.
Uh, get down on the ground and begin cutting into the ground and removing floorboards. As this is happening, you do feel like the strain of the structure beginning to like buckle um, and the creak and pop of wood as it is starting to fold. Um, uh, there comes a point with his more keen ear as a woodsman where Dimitri says to everyone to like to back away before he and Anna begin striking the pillars and bring the top of the gazebo down on top of everything. It means more debris to dig through, but with a crash, you are no longer under the threat of the thing falling down on you. This alerts villagers. Um, Other members of the city hear the odd sounds happening and come from their houses to see what is taking place down at the pool, and you hear the whispers and concerned murmurings of the city watching their one and only shrine be destroyed by their uh, burgomaster. Um, he continues to work while Anna puts down her axe and, with a charged voice, begins telling the people that there is something. It begins telling in vague terms um, the promise that will be fulfilled by the newcomers at the sacrifice of this piece of their history. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna have her roll a charisma check to see how well this goes over with the people of the city.
Can I assist her with that check?
Absolutely. Okay. Uh,
Yeah, that'll just take the
you
form of me giving a solemn vow that we're going to do what she says.
okay? Uh, you know what? Instead of me rolling at advantage, why don't you give me a persuasion check?
In that case, I would like to use my channel divinity to do emissary of peace. And
I think that is the right thing to do here. I
yeah,
think that is what you are doing, whether or not you used the channel divinity. Oh, good lord. That's good. She rolled a 10.
so that's a 26.
Excellent. Even at the comforting words of their city master, many of these people seemed still very distressed and bothered. But it is you presenting your holy symbol and swearing upon it uh, that clearly, like you feel the presence of passage. Um, you feel the spirit of someone who is walking from behind you and uh, through the people here and blessing them with the temporary ease that this is but a transient moment. This is not the eternity.
Yeah,
Um,
everybody feel just a little bit high now. That's a Twilight Rider reaching out, touching you. All right, all right, all right.
Dimitri and Ariam, Zeldrin, and Casimir continue to clear through the rubble um, and then into the dirt. It was not far because you were able to still see its aura, um, but it is just sort of, unless you cast the spell again.
Yeah. I'll cast Detect
Okay.
Evil and Good again to try to spot it.
Okay, that makes it go much quicker. You're not digging through the dirt trying to find something. You are seeking light. And when the soil is brushed back, you see buried, sitting within the dirt, and the dirt here is cold but soft. It is almost pillowing the. Let me get a description here. A platinum hilt of a blade with a wide crystal at its crossguard. The hilt that you see, the hilt that is here, that all that is remain, you see only past its crossguard the shattered fragments of a crystalline blade. There is no pieces of it remaining, just the just the platinum hilt with its crystal at its crossguard and the fragments of its shattered blade. There is no remnants to indicate that it's been broken while under here. It has been buried and hidden. But it
Man, I wish I had
glows.
identified.
To you who can see the power of it shines intensely.
I will gather the pieces, um, and bring it out and go search for somewhere clean to set it all.
Okay. I think I've
Bury that one sword that was broken in Lord of the Rings on an altar.
uh I think I may have mixed up my language. I was trying very hard to communicate. There is no piece. There is only
Oh,
the
okay.
hilt and the
Gotcha.
broken base of the blade
Okay,
within the
yeah.
hilt.
Yeah, I
Yes.
thought it was like a fully broken blade,
Yeah.
like all
Yeah.
in pieces, but
Yeah.
okay.
I was trying very hard to indicate it. This is clearly a broken weapon,
Mhm,
but this is all of it is
mhm.
just this one piece.
Gotcha.
All that
I
is
will
here is this one piece.
I will pull it out and display it to everyone else. And um, if none of you have any objection, I can uh, spend some time at peace with this thing and try to learn what it is that what it is.
You're holding it.
Yes,
You can feel it thrumming at your touch.
it whatever it is, it contains incredible power.
If that's what you came for, let's.
Um, okay, I will go and
Zeldrin, while you were
yes.
doing that, Aram, do you want to give me a hand over here? We should collect all the pieces of this gazebo that we can and treat them with the reverence they deserve.
I will go and take a seat, like by the edge of the pool, and just meditate for an hour with this thing to attune to it.
Okay. You go over to the pool and are sitting sort of near Irina, who is standing at its edge, staring into it and entirely lost in thought, it would appear.
Are you doing all right, Irina?
Sorry,
You
what?
you
Do you,
seem very drawn to this pool. This
uh, can you see that? And she points into the water.
do I see anything?
uh you kind of you get back up and follow her finger and see a reflection of a noble looking face, looks almost familiar, um with the sharp nose, cheekbones, and dark curled hair that you've seen in Ravenloft, but this person is smaller, gentler, and has a smile in his eyes. His hair is shorter and just a fair bit of stubble beginning to reflect. You see his face, you see some of his garments uh, in the pool, and he seems to be like speaking, and his hands are sort of outstretched.
And with Detect Evil and Good still up, like this pool still appears consecrated.
Purely, yes.
Okay. I do see it now that you've pointed it out. I do not hear anything.
Uh, she stares for a moment more before pulling off a couple of her cloaks and beginning putting her feet into the water.
Do you recognize this person?
She doesn't turn back to you, and she's very hesitantly taking steps into the water, and says, I do. I don't know why.
Hmm. This water is consecrated. It is good. It is blessed. Perhaps, perhaps it would be good for me to perform a ritual and ask what the course of action should be, or what we can learn about this. It would take me but a moment.
The hems of her skirts are already weighted with water, but she stops and turns back to you.
I want I want to cast augury, but I don't think that I have like specially marked sticks, bones, or similar. I mean, we've never said that I've had them before, and I've never
They
used
have a
this spell
gold
here.
cost, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we would have to have gotten them.
yeah,
I would have allowed you to have gotten them somewhere, but I don't think you had
mhm,
yet.
yeah.
If you want, you have a shrine that's just been demolished. You could take some wood chippings from if you hurried.
Yeah, I'll run back over there and get that and begin casting augury.
Okay, I'm gonna say it's gonna take longer because you have to like now make these
Hmm.
augury these sticks,
Yeah,
um, and if you wouldn't mind, coin as well. Uh,
yeah.
yeah,
I'll spend what I need.
yeah.
Um,
Irina comes out of the water, dripping but just hovering over your shoulders and
mhm,
shaking. Um, you can take 20 minutes and make sticks you can toss.
mhm. Um, I will do so, and where's he and I will ask, is it wise or safe for Irina to follow this calling that asks her to bathe in this pool?
With your spirit of intention in your question, does Zeldrin wish to know if it is safe for all or if it is safe for Irina?
I think he is only thinking about whether it is safe for her.
Then the answer you receive is that it is safe.
Oh, okay. Um, I will share with. I will let Arium and Sazerac know what's going on as well, and say that um, I, from the perspective of our god, this is a safe and not dangerous thing. If you are beckoned to bathe in this pool, I see no reason to stop you.
She's still sort of hunched over you while you are over your auger, um, and reaches down, squeezes your hand, and your shoulder at once, um, and gives you a look. And in that look, you see a desperation.
Uh, what kind? Like a desperation to go into the pool?
Hmm.
I cannot say that I know what this will bring, but I I hope you find what it is you've been searching for. What safety or protection this pool can offer.
She briefly looks up at Zazarak and Arium for their responses.
I have no reason to doubt my brother if he has consulted with the Twilight Rider, and Twilight Rider has given this endeavor their blessing. And by all means, enjoy.
She rightens herself and goes back towards the water, and much more fervently begins trotting through. And you see the fabric of her skirts begin to swell and weigh, and eventually she is swimming, and you see her just her head above the water, her red hair floating around her shoulders briefly before she takes a breath and pulls herself below the surface. There's small ripples and stillness. You see her form sinking, and you see that person, this nobleman, who still reflects with outstretched arms. And as she continues to sink, you swear you see that she is falling into his outstretched arms. He takes her, and you see them spin. You see, you'd swear it, tears within his eyes as he holds her. And in that instance, in that moment, the sky above you darkens. There is a crack of thunder as a tree nearby is struck with lightning and falls into the surface, and the image is shattered.
I think we might have pissed somebody off.
All right, Adult Swim, everybody out of the pool.
As the fallen tree continues to sink, nothing else rises.
Does the pool still appear to be consecrated?
If the with the casting of augury, I believe the time.
Oh yeah, time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll cast it again.
Okay. Ritual or
I'll just cast it.
okay. Yeah, it is.
Okay. But there's no sign of Arena in it.
Nope.
Brother Ariam, do you remember? Am I remembering right the story that we were told Strahd believed Irina to be? Was it his brother's wife?
Hmm.
The image in the
Definitely
pool.
someone dear to.
The image in the pool looked strikingly similar in features to the Count, but not so much that I would think it's the same person.
Perhaps him before he became the undead.
Hmm. Irina said that whoever it was someone familiar and comforting, though she could not place why.
Wait, wait, she's gone?
Seems so. There,
But I thought the Twilight Rider said it was safe.
I still trust that to be the case. I think perhaps she has been transported somewhere safe, or her the soul that has been reincarnated into Irina that was once this person connected to Strahd or whoever this fella in the pool was. That soul is moved forward into somewhere of safety out of the reach of Strahd. And judging from that sudden darkening and the lightning bolt, Strahd is very upset about it.
Hmm. Well, I guess on the positive side, we no longer need to worry about what to do with Irina on Strahd's visit in 3 days. Religion's
I fear the
complicated.
Count may no longer be toying with us now.
So then we should get to it.
Yes, yeah. Sword, hilt, yeah. And I will sit down and try to calm my thoughts and resume meditating on it.
All right. In that time of meditation, uh, you are finding yourself gazing into the crystal at the hilt, or at the crossguard. The sigil that you now see has the eagle's crest that you've seen for House von Zarovich. And in that time, as you come to stare and understand, you see reflected in the crystal a face you had just seen within the pool. A smaller, kindlier nobleman who bore a platinum hilted sword with a thin crystal blade that was as strong as steel. Not a warrior by his trade as his brother, but capable still. You see him fighting the powerful wizard, and in their conflict, you see that this nobleman, he does not defeat this wizard, he is not defeated, but there is lingering spite, hatred. and then you feel coldness, abandonment. And the next time that you feel you are held again in the spirit of this blade, you are in the hands of that same wizard who, within his spite, attempts to destroy you entirely. Does not entirely take. The blade is shattered, but the spirit, the power within still is strong. And as the sentiment of returning vigor washes over you, the blade itself extends in a beam of gleaming silver light from the crossguard in a slight curve, and with enough light being like, just coursing from the hilt itself, enough so that you feel you have the power to change the form of this blade if you so chose.
Hmm.
Here is a picture of the Sun Sword.
Oh boy.
My intention with this weapon is that anyone who wields it will make it the weapon that you tend to use. So if this were Zeldrin's, it could be a warhammer.
Hmm.
If it were Zazarak's, it could be the two-bladed scimitar. For Arium, it would still like we could do trident or like power through the claws. Um, I want this to be something that anyone has the opportunity to use.
I will return to, well, turn to everyone else and display um, the blade as it is, and take a moment to like display its transmutive ability. This looks like it could be a weapon of great use in any of our hands. Um, Brother, you use a weapon more than I do. Um, Arium, I know you like to bite people, or well, Rokea does, but
Arium just got a little sick.
Goes off his weird conical teeth.
we don't have to make a decision on who wields this immediately, but I feel it is to be a strong ally in any of our hands.
In the hour of Zeldrin's meditation, Arium Zazarak, is there anything you do besides assist the Kreskovs with cleanup?
I will take the hour to cast Find Familiar.
All right.
Summon my little crab back.
Yeah, and short answer, no. I'll help collect all these pieces. Suggest that they're preserved as well as possible, and we'll try and incorporate it into the temple when Zeldrin summons it.
Okay. As the cleanup and the rituals come to an end, Casimir approaches, looks around. Where's Irina?
This
Not entirely positive.
this holy spring, this pool, it called to her and showed her a vision. A figure whose face I saw once again when attuning to this blade. I believe him to be Strahd's brother. Appeared to her and bade her into the pool. I took a moment to, convene with my deity on the best course of action, and it was deemed safe for her to enter, protective. She bathed in the pool. I assumed it would give her some kind of resilience or resistance, but it seems as though it has transported her, moved her soul somewhere safe, removed it from whatever reincarnation cycle, bade her to be this person again after she's no longer with us, but I believe her to be safe and better off than she was. She is outside of the reach of the Count, beyond his grasp forever.
Casimir nods and takes a moment to offer prayers of safe passage at the pool as well.
I fear the omens look worse for us. I think we should prepare for the worst possible outcomes. We should act quickly to wrap up whatever other quests we have and be ready for a lot more danger to be thrown our way.
And that will take you to Argynvostolt next.
I think it's worth the effort.
I agree. We have so far done well to follow Madame Ava's viewings. I believe. Actually, I'm not positive. It's one of the. Check my notes. Actually, Argynvostolt we found just by wandering and running into Hornguard.
I think Esmeralda said she knows where it is.
Yeah, I just meant that I've been thinking that it had been alluded to in one of the readings from Ava, Madam
Mm.
Ava, but now I'm reading back over my notes. I don't think it was.
Uh,
Esmeralda was the Vistani who wanders alone. We have the sword made of sunlight. We found the ancient dark hooded figure with no name that must be named. Um,
Did we learn much from the was it like the Book of Strahd that we got from?
you guys haven't sat down and read it yet?
hmm I think I would like to read the book. Given that this sun sword is fucking incredible.
Brother, if
Yes.
you're gonna read that book, might I might I see that blade?
Yes, I think that this blade is best off not in my hands. You can swing a blade much faster than I can, do twice as much work with it. No,
it was also Zazarek's card that alluded to it.
indeed. So yeah, I'll pass it along to Zaz.
I'm gonna go off just a little bit, just so there's enough room, and then just straight up Star Wars kidding it for like an hour, hour and a half.
Noises and all.
Yeah.
As you become attuned to it, you are shared the similar vision of this younger nobleman in a more peaceful life. Let me see if there's any other details you can see. Um, you you also find in your time with the sword a brief glimpse of the process by which the wizard had attempted to destroy the blade in its entirety. Uh, that there was a point when the hilt and the crystalline blade had been entirely separated. Um, uh, when an apprentice of the wizard came in, saw what was being done, and sought to seed some hope in the world, and stole the hilt for it to be taken to the Abbey of Saint Markovia. Um, just a nice little story. Yeah. Just so everyone knows, this weapon operates as a sunblade, which is a um, finesse and versatile weapon. For the sake of like whatever we are going to do with it, weapon wise, we can just do whatever item you've been working with. It just deals exclusively radiant damage,
Okay.
with an additional D8 of radiant damage to any undead. In addition, it is also a +2 weapon.
Okay.
Also illuminating 15 feet bright, 15 feet dim light, so total of 30 feet.
Cool.
Oh, you can also. Here, I'll make sure we've got a magic item with the right stuff on it. When the blade persists, you can use an action to expend or reduce its radius of bright and dim light by 5 feet each to a maximum of 30 feet or a minimum of 10 feet. So you
Okay.
can affect your circle of light. For Zeldrin, I have the Tome of Strahd. When when you unlock it with the key you had been given,
Mhm.
I think Ariam had flipped through it. There's a lot of damage. This book is very old. It is also significantly written in a shorthand that is partially imparsible. However, all together, particularly towards the end, there is enough that can be read that you're able to piece together the following. I believe there should be text that you can read. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. The image is great, but in case that's too difficult. And there's the information for the Sunblade, and like I said, edit it as necessary.
Ooh, the light is sunlight.
Yeah.
Love that.
I think by the nature of the weapon, it says when you hit an undead, it deals 1d8, but that's with its base die being a d8.
Mhm.
Actually, no, if it's a longsword, it's versatile. Yeah, okay, we'll keep it the d8. That's fucking fine by me. That's fine.
Right.
We can do it after session, Max, but
Mhm.
I'll need to talk through what this means using this Sunblade relative to my one of my feats and my fighting style, since it works with neither of those.
Okay. If it doesn't, I had thought about just making it work, but if it doesn't technically work, we'll talk about it.
Right, and not right.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, I just it sounds like you are open to being flexible, and as am I. And so, if it just means altering the weapon some, or if it means just taking different feats or fighting styles, whatever, I'm open
Mhm.
to whatever's the easiest way.
Mhm.
Or if the easiest way to do it is just someone else wield the Sunblade, like I'm down with that too.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we need to figure something out and
Yep.
make it work.
It appears this tome is Strahd's own hand describing the events that led to his current state. Um, the brother that we saw, Sergei. Sergei was killed by Strahd. It says this hilt, the hilt that you have, I believe it's this one that he mentions here when he says, "But the sword, that cursed sword that Sergei brought, I must dispose of that awful tool. I fear it and hate it as much as the sun." That certainly makes sense.
When that is said out loud, Zazarak, as you're kind of like fucking around a little bit, you feel a pulse from the blade. It's like from the hilt, from the leathers.
Oh. Feel like it either did or did not like that, but it certainly responded.
Perhaps the sword hates Strahd just as much.
Uh, why don't you give me one of those pulses if you hate Strahd?
uh, it begins to it's not only just a pulse; it prolongs, and you can like you are watching your hand almost vibrate with the force of power.
Oh, yeah, this thing does not like Strahd at all. Well, guess what? Neither do we. Neither do I.
This like energy continues in almost a song.
Oh, yeah, we gonna have some fun. I'll go back to spinning around with it and stab in the air.
Right. Well, you've read the Tome of Strahd. You have the Sun Sword. You intend to go to Argynvost Holt. Is there anything that remains for you in Kresk?
Our carriage full of treasure.
Yeah, that's true. That's here.
Should we leave it here? Should we take it back to Valaki? I mean,
Question: can we bring it through the travel mists that you create? Sorry, my throat is.
don't see particularly why not. We've been able to carry all our things with significant ease. Let me see.
I don't know if it's technically encouraged, but it is something that we did last time you used it. Because you guys did get it here.
It says, if your tale is told with reverence and precision, you and up to 6 other creatures, plus their gear, including vehicles or mounts, become encircled in a magical bubble.
Shit.
Oh, damn.
I wasn't gonna be picky because I let it happen last time, but the fact that it's specified is
Yeah, because I mean, it's a tale of safe travel. You know,
yeah.
it's like,
It's like being on a tour bus is
yeah.
like the gag.
I mean, like the cartographer's rank 1 thing, it's a rental, lets us requisition a cart and a horse,
Mhm.
and all that kind of stuff. So it makes sense for the tale of safe travel to let the horses come back with us.
I agree with that.
So
Cool. So, what do you want to do?
I suppose we could check in with the inhabitants here to see if there is a wedding dress, so we don't have to take
Mm.
Victor's mother's dress. Felt weird just to say.
Dude, stop
Um,
looking at me. I saw it. Don't ask why or how. I happened to see that you had a wedding dress at some point. None of your business. Victor, don't look at me like that. Don't look at me in that tone of voice.
or we could make for Valaki now, if that would be better. We could.
Say, y'all, now that we wrecked your holy shrine so that I could do little spinny things, anybody got a wedding dress that we're obviously keeping for some reason, but now we want to take too?
We're here to help, I swear.
Oh, you know what? I just looked it up to double check again. the Temple of the God spell is a 7th level spell. I don't have those yet. I thought I did.
Ah,
I
we
was
lied to
thinking-
y'all. We tricked you.
You know, I didn't even bother looking at your sheet because I was like, this is a fucking high ass level spell, but I know that you guys are high level, so I have
Yeah,
no
yeah,
idea
like-
where you guys are.
So it was okay. I was in Miles's room and I
Uh-huh.
was on my phone and I was like, I know I've got Forbiddance. I know that I have that spell. So I like looked it up and then I just was assuming it was a 7th level spell. I didn't really double check that. And so I just like was looking at, okay, what are other powerful 7th level cleric spells?
Yeah, so
Oh, this one is perfect. Why didn't I notice it? I guess I must not have. And the reasoning I had at the moment was, oh, well, it's a Xanathar's spell, so maybe it didn't just like auto-populate for me in Roll20.
mhm,
But nope, it's because it was a higher level.
All right. We
That's
just
very
don't
good.
show back up until you can cast 7th level spells.
Yeah,
So
let's hope that happens soon.
that, right? Or I guess the spell you're going to be casting is Hammer and Nail.
Uh-huh.
As all of you are sort of discussing options, Casimir will say, if we go to Valaki next, that may be your best point of travel then to Argynvost. I can speak with some of the Vistani about perhaps speaking with Lady Valakovich about the garment, and then I and some of my scouts may return here to handle that trade on your behalf. We have little time. We may do well to split apart.
That does seem reasonable to me.
We should also, and you know, I could do it from a distance, but I think it would be more important to speak to him face to face, but we should let Ismark know what happened to his sister.
I suppose. I mean, do we know definitively what has happened to his
don't-
sister?
Think definitively, but
She disappeared in a flash of light, seems a
I feel confident in saying that she found solace wherever she went.
Well, yes, I mean, if the Twilight Rider said that it was safe, then at the very least, she has found safety.
yes. I mean, I suppose yes. That will, I hope, bring him some solace to know that, at the very least, she's out of Strahd's reach wherever she is.
Well, I think whatever we do, we should act quickly. So, back to Valaki, and then to
Mhm.
Argynvost.
Yes, the sooner the better, I think.
And then we intend to return here if as soon as we can, in anticipation of Strahd's arrival.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's gather our things. Uh,
I pick up my crab.
Burgermaster, Burgermistress, I thank you for your hospitality and your understanding. We will pursue our goals as quickly as we can and return here post haste. I think it advisable to let the town know it's probably a good time to hunker down. Though, if Strahd arrives and we are gone, just be careful. The abbot is strange, but I think he can be an ally. Um, we will do our best to hurry back.
May you be man of your word. All right, you're headed towards Valaki.
Yeah, we'll go grab our. Do we need to bring our treasure back, or should we just? I guess best to have the money that we need to travel as much as we need to travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at very least, I mean, I guess this is a good question. What part of Valaki would you teleport to?
St. Andrews? Like that's a place we have frequented, or the
Mhm.
Vistani area outside.
Should I remind you of Victor's banishment?
Mhm.
The Vistani area is outside.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vistani encampment is probably your safest bet. You have Casimir with you.
Yeah, let's do that.
'Kay.
Okay, I need to remove 75 gold from my gold for the 50 for the travel and the 25 for the augury. But I just have those sticks now, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Calculator.
As you all gather your things, and Zeldrin begins to incant to you in elven song, the mists crawl up and surround you in a way far more comforting than the fog in the woods. And you find yourselves an hour later outside of Casimir's hovel uh, in the Vistani encampment with a ton of money and a Valaki fugitives, maybe not the right word, and then and then the lone Vistani as she's been identified to you. Cool stuff. If you'd like, you can keep your belongings with me and mine. The Dusk Elves will respect your property.
Appreciated. We will need. Well, do we? Well, how much do you think that will? Well, are we going to pay for the dress, or are we just going to tell them we need it? I mean,
Pay whom for the dress?
yeah, that's kind of what I was getting
Oh,
at.
Victor.
probably my mother, I would assume, who has found herself
Forgive.
recently widowed.
Yes, my apologies,
Oh,
Victor. I forgot that she was not. all- Yes, yes, yes.
I was right there with you, Zeldrin. I was, for some reason, believing your mother was dead, even though we
Wait.
met her. A
Wait,
lovely woman. We gotta
Victor,
go.
Victor,
Yes, I'm aware.
yeah, it was just a weird tone about your poor mother being widowed. given the circumstances under which she became a widow.
He shrugs.
That's
All
all right.
right.
I won't bring it up, and you won't ask how I know she had a wedding dress. That sounds like a good deal to me.
All right, what time of fucking day is it? You guys spent a lot of time in Kresk. It's got to be getting late. I'll let you guys get into the city, no problem. But like, you guys, let's see, you went right up to the Abbey first thing in the morning after the pool, and then spent a good amount of time at the Abbey, and then a lot of time at the gazebo and rituals and attunements and things. Yeah, it's got to be getting dark. But the gate guards recognize you even from a long distance and prepare to let you in upon a display of your teeth and let you through. You going right to the Velakovich Manor?
We might as well pick up this dress quickly, but I truly don't care about this abbot's plan.
Well, I
At
understand,
this
but
point, it's more to help whoever in Kresk would need the abbot's assistance.
Mhm.
It costs us potentially very little, as he looks back at the cart of jewelry
Should
and
we-
coins.
Should we bring her a couple emeralds? I mean,
oh, I don't think she's gonna want any jewels. Zazarak like blows on his hands and blows on his fingers and like rubs them across his chest. Oh, I'm just fucking with you, Victor.
Victor's not coming with us.
Yeah,
yeah,
he
Victor,
yeah,
Victor,
he
you should
can't
stay
come
behind.
with-
Oh,
No,
that's right.
he's-
He's not here. Fuck that guy.
You just did that joke to everyone else.
Yeah.
You should save that one, brother. He'll
Oh, well, no, the joke when we get back is that I absolutely did pay in services for the dress.
mhm.
I think Esmeralda is with you and is trying her best to ignore whatever banter this is. That she is clearly not party to and is still very odd.
You see, Esmeralda, we're trying to teach Victor that oftentimes friends have this friendly banter and sort of fuck with each other a little bit. Just trying to get him a little more practiced in how to behave around other people.
Oh, so you're gonna make jokes about sleeping with his mom? I'm sure that's gonna go over super well.
It's
Yeah, see,
an
she gets it.
attempt to teach
Esmeralda gets
brevity.
it.
Yeah, where did you find that guy, by the way?
Here.
Yeah.
This house that we are walking to.
Oh, that explains it.
Yes, yeah.
Did
Just
you miss the part where we
real-
discussed him killing his own father?
mhm.
Oh, that's what that meant.
Yep.
And you guys are gonna be heroes here, right? Like we're okay.
Oh no, we are heroes here.
Yeah. We rescued children, we prevented the place from being overrun by vampires, we kept a coffin maker from being eaten alive. That one seemed a little less heroic at the time.
His father was a very bad baron. Very bad baron. We were actually standing against him and likely would have killed him if Victor hadn't beaten us to the point.
Well, doesn't look like anything's burned down around here, so I think that's fine. She just goes up and knocks on the door immediately. Servant does answer. Doesn't obviously recognize Esmeralda, but sees the three of you and um, quickly slams the door, then opens it again and gives you like the just one moment, and then closes the door again without saying anything to any of you. Um, Before you're like a moment or two passes before the remaining Velakovich of Velaki comes to
There
come
are
to.
there are two. One just can't come home yet.
He is no longer of Valaki.
He's just
Yes, if he
there.
helps us kill Strahd, I feel like that earns him some good boy points.
Oh God, I can't believe I've got to
God.
name this episode "Good Boy Points."
If Victor gets the kill him blow, I am going to be so upset.
What if he got the killing blow on Rahadin?
I mean, I imagined like that's a rage quit. Like we'll just see. Right, Tyler just drop right out of chat.
The fact that I couldn't even hit that guy the last time we saw him. Oh, man.
Well,
The door swings open.
I hit him a ton with my face and my chest.
Right on his knuckles.
Hi, we're the dry cleaners. We here for a pickup.
How is Victor?
He's well. He's well.
Oh, great. She grins and waves her hand for you all to come inside. What can I do for you this evening?
It's a rather odd request, but
And before we make it, I must have. I do feel the need to stress that this could be the difference between life and death. It's not likely, but it could be.
The plastic smile tweaks a little bit.
well, I will get right to it then. We are in need of a wedding dress, and we believe you have one here.
There's another tweak.
You see, the abbey in of Saint Markovia and Kresk, we've devised a bit of a plan to lure the Dark Lord into a glue trap of sorts, and in part of that baiting, we were hoping to borrow your dress.
Did you just call it a glue trap?
Yeah.
But we
So
are.
the dress is not going to be used on anyone getting married then.
No actual marriage should be performed. with
And
the
no
dress.
actual glue.
Ah,
We would be happy to compensate you for the time that the dress is in loan, or if you'd rather us leave something valuable to ensure that we return it.
do you produce any coin or payment?
No,
Okay.
I'm just
In that
leaving that
case,
option open and open-ended.
okay. Let's get a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Okay.
Can I try to be helpful in that to cancel that
Do you have
disadvantage?
that skill?
Yes. Yeah, I'm skilled in persuasion.
Sure. That'll knock out the flat roll.
Okay.
Well, I suppose if there is going to be any sort of perhaps, I could sell it to you. I will not be needing it, I think, anymore, and it is sort of sad seeing it now. And But still trying to keep this place as friendly and bright as possible.
That sounds wonderful.
I had it made for 250 gold.
I think we can swing that. How do you feel about Electrum?
'Tis the coin of Barovia.
Fantastic. I'll be right back. I'll go run out to the cart and get 500 Electrum.
Oh my god, so you're gone for like an hour. It's not a small walk.
I got to. What do I don't have. I have 90 gold on me. So unless either of you have 140 gold,
Nope.
I have 18.
160,
I
160.
have
I mean,
2.
we probably should have brought the payment with us
Yeah,
instead of
should've.
joking.
Yeah, I
Instead of
assumed
joking.
I assumed we rolled the wagon
Yeah, that's what I
like
thought
right
we
up
were
to
doing.
the house.
Oh, I thought we were leaving. I guess
Oh yeah. I thought you'd left it with. Sorry.
Oh,
we had
I figured
discussed
we'd leave
leaving it
it
with
there
them
when we
when
headed
we
to
actually
Argent
leave.
Vault.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, you
We're
guys
going
kind of.
into town and potentially might need to pick up some supplies. I figured we'd take all the money with us to do
That's a
that.
very good point.
Yeah. Okay. All right. In that case, you have the money outside in the cart with
Mhm.
for you to fish through.
Yeah, I will count out 500
Which
Electrum.
is still super weird. Like,
Yeah.
imagine going to someone's house. Okay, you need. Let me run to my car real quick.
And they come back with just a duffel
10
of bills.
10 pounds of precious metals. There you go.
Okay. She'll have one of her maids go and retrieve the gown. It takes a little bit. They say that they took it off of its what's the fucking word? Doesn't matter. And they like wrap it in fabric to keep it safe and preserved for you.
By the way, would you happen to have any um, precious gems? Ruby, to be specific.
I
Um,
think
Or is there a jeweler you know of in town?
Eh, uh, I believe we do have jewelers. Yes. Uh, it's sort. I have ruby jewels, earrings, necklaces. Uh, what are you looking for?
I am in need of rather costly components for a ritual. I need about 1,000 gold worth of ruby. I am good to pay for it, but
In that case, you would be better asked, I believe, in such quantity with for the Vistani. They can travel outside and bring back whatever wares you specify.
it is just that we are in quite a time crunch.
Do not know that anyone here would be able to accommodate such a high expenditure so short notice.
Hmm. That is what I feared. Would you happen to have any way of me to gain 2 levels really quickly so that I can cast a higher level spell?
I mean, I could give you a side quest if you.
A 30-minute side quest, please.
A 30-minute mega dungeon to get you through 2 levels.
Hmm. It can take us a few mini sessions. I just need it to be in game like 30 minutes. Okay, serious question again. Do you have any saffron? I really need some saffron.
Certainly.
I would be happy to buy some from you.
Whatever coin you still require to expend, you can. She will be able to provide you with herb.
Okay. The ointment costs 25 gold and is made from mushroom powder, saffron, and fat. So saffron is certainly the most expensive things, but should I just say 25 gold for each casting of saffron? Or...
So for whatever the casting is, it still needs to be the 25 gold, but you can
Yeah.
get the remaining, because I know we talked about the mushrooms and fat already.
Yeah.
You can get the saffron required.
Okay. I will get enough saffron for 3 castings.
That feels fair and adequate to me.
Okay.
What spell is that?
True seeing.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm not worried about that then.
It's a 6th level spell. I could only cast it once if I even cast it at all. I just want it to be an option.
It's a fabulous spell. I think
Yeah.
it's a good one to have as an option. I was purely thinking of what do I need to be prepared to have thrown at me?
Yeah. I'm just going through and looking at all my things that require stuff. I'm not interested in create undead, so I don't need to worry about that.
Man, that'd be a wild take.
I am still after a golden reliquary worth 500 gold. The sword was not that, so
I'm sorry.
yeah. So I mean, sword is better, but yeah, I can go speak with the abbey, the church while we're here. I don't know what we call the church in this town.
St.
You are,
Andrew's?
yeah, St. Andrew's. You did already get a reliquary from
I
them,
did not. I got a sunburst pendant for Dawn from them.
right?
That is worth 100 gold.
Okay.
So, but that's for Dawn. For Summon Celestial, I need a 500 gold reliquary. Specifically.
They're not super rich, but given game mechanics and everything, and you have the money for it,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like
like you are putting the money in.
it is worth 500 gold because it is a reliquary
Yeah,
kind of thing,
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
Fa-
reliquary is the operative word here.
yeah, Father Lucian can provide something, I think, for you.
Okay.
His friends and benefactors of 500 gold.
Mhm.
It is just the case that ruby dust, that's such a
Specific, yeah.
specific and expensive, because the reliquary it doesn't have to be gilded or whatever. It just has to be blessed with the value of the 500 whatever.
Yeah, gold,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So, if you are fine with it, I will fork
Uh-huh.
over another. Well, I mean my companions. I will fork over another 1,000 electrum to acquire this
Yeah,
golden reliquary.
yeah, I think. Yeah, I have no problem with that.
So we had like 33 hundred. So
As long as
Um,
you're keeping track.
I cannot recall, so I will probably go to the general store and just see if they sell any armor or know anybody that sells any armor in town.
Uh, yeah, I think that the what's it called? It's got a cool ass name. They would be able to help a little bit depending on what you're looking for.
Real simple. They have studded leather armor,
Yes.
like every
Yeah.
paladin wears.
Arasax Stockyard or Arasex Stockyard. Yes, you can acquire studded leather armor from them.
Okay, what do they want for it?
Just cost. I think that's the 25 gold. Right.
I think it's 40 or 45 or something. I'll look it up.
Yeah, what?
45.
Okay.
45. So yeah, are you deleting gold from the Amber Temple loot, Tyler?
Is that was that a Google Doc that was shared?
It's
It's
It's in the journals.
yeah,
There's a thing called Amber
Oh,
Temple
okay.
Loot. I can
Yep.
take care of it.
Yep, I see it.
yeah.
You got
Only
it,
one
buddy.
person can add at a time, just so
Uh-huh.
you know.
okay. +1 AC for me.
It means the world.
Okay.
Puts you at a 17. Holy fuck, my guy.
Well, it I mean, and this is where things get weird. It depends on what we do with this Sunblade, because it may put me at an 18.
Okay.
Right?
We are getting to like the end of session. Is there any
Mhm.
like tab in-game business that anyone wants to establish before we call?
So the stuff below the line in here is what we took. I don't think we took all of
Yes.
this coin. We didn't take
Yeah.
the copper or the silver.
Yeah, the bottom.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. The bottom below the line is just the stuff that was actually valuable. I didn't wanna
Uh,
adjust the top, which is what that's what
okay.
Max put in there.
So yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna edit the bottom to be what we
Mhm.
actually took, which was only 33,000 electrum,
Okay.
not 66. And then we took the sarcophagus, the skull, the crown, the scepter,
yeah, we took nearly all
jewelry,
of the items other than
tombstones.
the, exceptionally
Yeah,
heavy ones, which I did not copy down to the bottom.
yeah. So yeah, removing all that erroneous coin and then removing the coin that we just spent, which is 1,500 electrum, left with 1,800 electrum. Okay, so what's below the line now is what we have taken.
Cool veins.
Is there a reason to? She did say that there were jewelers in town.
Yes,
Mhm.
but
Not
I
one that's going to have 1,000 rubies.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the other question is, do we have Revivify diamonds? Do we need more Revivify diamonds? Not that
I've got a
last night
couple.
is weighing on my mind at all.
Yeah, I've got 2 revivify diamonds.
Okay. Right. Could it be hard to use if we need more than 2?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Let's see. All right, so we'll call session with you guys like wrapping up any business. Like we'll keep you in Valaki in case something comes up in the next week to remember. Let's see. Okay. So what are you looking at